Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Dudley Planning Board meeting for September 13th, 2023. I wanted to note that this meeting is being recorded. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we have next on our agenda approval of minutes from August 23rd, but those minutes are not complete yet, so we'll postpone them to the next meeting. And the next item on the agenda, number 2, A&R plans, Mark Wagner and Monica Wagner Elferton, 249 and 263 Dudley Southbridge Road. So these are the plans here, Bill?
Yes.
Bill, am I correct in understanding that the engineer's on the phone?
Yes, I should have.
Yeah. Just one quick question for you. This is Dan of the planning board. There was a waiver for the wetlands. Was there a reason for that?
Basically, just because, I mean, the wetlands are gonna have to be shown and gone through with Conservation Commission and DEP. I mean, they'll probably have to get walked with the conservation agent prior to any development or any work on the sites anyway. Each lot, I mean, it has well over an acre of uplands anyway. There is a brook running through it. We did show the brook.
Yep.
So it's just one of those things that if I could ask for a waiver to just not show the wetlands, it's just,
And
I mean,
before,
another reason would be the wetlands are pretty up for interpretation also. I mean.
correct. So
one
do you
of
think
those
they'll be,
things.
do you think they'll have to be flagged again before you start development?
Yeah, they'll have to get gone through, I mean, any development, I mean, I think there'll only be development on the one lot
Right, lot number.
anyway.
Understood.
Yeah, so they'll definitely have to go through conservation.
All right, thank you.
Can you explain what's happening here on this plan for us?
Yeah, sure. Right now, my clients live and own 263 Dudley Southbridge Road, the house and the barn that they converted.
Okay.
And they recently purchased 249, and what they're looking to do is take some of the land from 263, which they've lived in for a while, and convey that over to the 249 property to create 2 lots out of that. Each lot, meets the frontage and area requirements also.
That will create one buildable lot then, correct?
Yes, yep, and then there's a house on the remaining land at 249, and then the remaining land at 263. So one new lot that doesn't have a house on it now.
I see you're in Res 87, 150 feet of frontage. And that was the only waiver you were asking for, was the wetlands?
Yes.
Okay. Alright. I thought I saw paperwork in here. We have the checklist too.
Yeah, the checklist was in there.
The one thing with regards to the
Okay, yeah, so it looks like the wetlands would be location of wetland resources and area boundaries within the proposed lots, which is item 6G. So would somebody want to make a motion that we waive item 6G on the A&R plan checklist?
What's his frontage?
The frontage on the new lot is 151.94. Minimum is 150, so it's over by almost 2 feet. The other one has,
151.
yeah, the other one has plenty.
Do you want a motion at this point, Mr. Chairman?
If you would?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we approve the A and R plan
We need a waiver.
We need a waiver.
waiver at 6G as indicated on the checklist.
So we have a motion for the waiver. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Somebody like to make a motion to approve the A&R plan for 263 Dudley Southbridge Road?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we accept the plan, the A and R plan for 263 Southbridge Road as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. You're all set, Mr. Curto. We'll sign these and you can come and pick it up when you have the time.
All right, thank you very much, I appreciate it, have a good night.
Bye-bye. We need to sign 2 paper copies and 1 Mylar, right? Do we have a
Yes.
pen for the Mylar?
Should we do it after the meeting, or? Should we do it after the meeting, since that's the first time here, or?
Might as well do it now.
Get it out.
Get 'em out.
Sharpie.
Good trade? All right, fair trade. I want a draft pick of this stuff.
That's right up.
It's not working for me.
You want another alternate pen?
Yes.
Going out. Gonna look to retire shortly though.
Okay.
You get the budget to cover that, Bill?
No, probably too much.
We will have to re-raise
Drain the budget.
I have to put it out for bids, and get 3 bids on that. Tip 10.
Okay. A&R plan. Check. All right, next item on our agenda, endorse Sophie Ways, Mylar and Covenant. Mr. Wetruba. Great.
We have the covenant, the original, so 3 members have signed it so far.
Okay.
So I think we're looking for the other 2 members to sign it tonight.
And then the plans we have to sign too, or?
Yes, Steve has brought the Mylar. I have one of the Mylars here. So David and Tom have not signed it yet. Are you prepared to sign it tonight?
No, it says September 13th on it.
Right. That was partly my fault. I should have not dated it in the future.
I thought legalized counsel dated it.
So Steve will take the original, have it recorded at the Registry of Deeds, where he will get the book and page number, and then put the book and page number onto the Mylar, so that's referenced on the plan.
So you're gonna hold the plans until he comes back with the book and page?
Yes.
Give it back to Bill. We're all set?
Okay, thank you.
So do we need to sign those tonight, or
Yes. So,
one copy?
yes, this is the Mylar that he would take to the registry and have it recorded. Is this the only sheet, Steve, that you're going to have recorded?
Yeah, you've got the paper plans. They endorse those too, right?
Well, the registry will only record Mylars.
No, I know that, but I know that I'm supposed to come back with, I think, 8 sets of plans for
Right.
distribution to the different departments.
Yep.
I was just assuming that you would want those 8 copies to be made off of the signed or endorsed plans.
Yes.
So then, yeah, so
So,
you have to,
just signing this tonight then, and then you'll get this recorded.
right, but if you sign the paper plans tonight, then I can take them and get them copied at Staples into 8 more sets.
Oh, I see, so you
Well,
want,
I don't think you want to get the copies made until you get your book and page and put it on that Mylar, and then when you make the copies off the Mylar.
Oh,
for
actually, yeah,
papers.
they could make a copy off of that, right?
Right, you make the
Oh,
copies
yeah,
off
yeah,
the Mylar.
okay, we'll do that then, sure.
Yeah,
okay.
okay,
So then all I need is that endorsed tonight.
right, and then
Okay.
you'll get our signatures automatically on the paper when you,
It has to be original signatures on a Mylar.
right.
Gotcha. So they don't have to be original signatures on the
Paper
paper.
copies.
Right.
Got it. No problem. Great, thank you.
So we want to just sign that now?
Sure.
Need stamps. I usually scribble my last name.
Just gonna say that. Yeah.
It'll be a mystery.
It will be. Maybe that'll enhance the value of your signature, I don't know. Who knows? We'll go to the bank with that.
All right, so I guess that's it for me tonight, right?
You're all set.
Okay.
Getting out of here early.
Well, I'm gonna hang around. I didn't even look at the agenda. I don't know if there's anything interesting, but
Oh, yeah.
Always things of interest.
you could,
We'll be done in 10
you
minutes.
could take the man out, you could take the man out of the planning board, but you can't take the planning board out of the man.
Oh. That's a medical condition.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thanks for your patience, Stephen.
All right, next item on our agenda, review of proposed fee schedules and set date for the public hearing. So, I think Bill sent everybody out the fee schedules from the last meeting that we've gone over. I went over them again. And I think we have, from what I can see, I'd like to bring it up to the board for consideration on changes for 2 of them. After looking at it. The first one, and I know this, Mr. Edmondson, I know this was your idea, but I was just thinking about like A&R plans. A lot of times A&R plans aren't just coming from contractors or developers. A lot of times it's coming from homeowners. Such as tonight, the A&R that we did was from a homeowner who purchased a piece of property that was abutting their property and made a change to it. So that affected 3 lots, correct, Bill?
Mhm.
So that was 3 lots. Previously, with our current A&R fees, that was a $300 plan change. With our new fees, that would be a $600 plan change, because we have a $300 fee on top of that. So all I was thinking is, we basically went from 0 fee to $300 fee. Could we maybe go down a little bit on the fees to not make it such a huge increase for the residents of Dudley, who, like, if you have your land surveyed and you find out you wanna put a fence up, and you find out, oh geez, my lot line is too close to the neighbor, or, his shed is too close to my property, and I'm gonna give him 2 feet of land, so he doesn't have to move his shed, and he's gonna give me 2 feet on the front end, and, you know, it's a land swap. That previously would have been a $200 A&R plan, now it would be a $500 A&R plan.
But only 250 each.
Well, you could,
I agree.
you could have a basic fee, which we do, and then a per lot fee for each new lot created. So in the plan you just reviewed, there was only one new lot being created.
I think it's $400.
Right.
I'm easy either way, Mr. Chairman, whatever the board decides.
And
I
then
mean,
in your situation,
don't
if
we
there
have
was a
majority?
land swap,
No,
there's
like
no
that.
new lots being created, so therefore it's just the base fee. Does that make sense, or?
Yeah.
So it'd be $300 plus $100 per each new lot?
Have to put an asterisk in here or something to footnote that.
Yeah.
Different condition.
So keep the $300 fee, but say that it's plus $100 per new lot.
Or new lot.
Okay.
So in the case, yeah. So in the case like what we just did, that $300 A&R that we just reviewed and approved, if we had the new fee in play, that would only be a $400 A&R, so it's just slightly more than what it was. I think that's fair. And the other thing that I noticed was when I was looking at this overall, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, I don't know if my thinking is right on this or not, but we have these fees for people coming in with definitive plans and preliminary plans. And my thought is, you wanna make it more advantageous for the developer to come in with a preliminary plan first, so you can get an idea of what's happening.
That makes sense.
So right now, the way we currently have it, we're given a preliminary plan, $1,500 fee plus $300 per lot. And then if he went to a definitive plan with a preliminary plan, it's another $1,500 plus $500 per lot. So the fees for the two submitted together is $3,000. But if he comes in with a definitive plan without a preliminary plan, it's only $1,500. So I think we need to raise that one up, because if you look at what we had before, we had $4,000 as the fee for that. And my thought was, let's make it $4,500 plus the $750. So we're, you know, if he wants to come in with no preliminary plan, it's actually gonna cost him $1,500 more than if they come in with both plans. You know, I know it takes longer to go through the two plans, but, I mean, we're trying to make it advantageous for the developers, you know, so they can save $1,500 if they do the two plans versus just the one plan.
The 4,500 might be a little steep.
Well, we had 4,000 before. If you look at our old fee schedule, it was 4,000 if you came in. I don't know, that was just my thought.
So for Steve's plan, which was 5 lots, and he came in with a preliminary plan.
Mm-hmm.
So his definitive plan with preliminary would have been $1,500 plus 500 times 5, $2,500, so $4,000 for the preliminary. And then it would be 45 for the definitive with, no, that was the definitive with preliminary. So he would have paid $4,000 for his plan review.
Right, but you see what I'm saying about with the fees? We have all the fees set at 1,500 right now. And it just seems like, you know, I'm not looking at the lot review fee, because if the lot review, if they put in that money for the lot review fee, that's to go to pay the engineer. If the engineer doesn't cost that much, they get that money back.
Mhm.
What I'm looking at is, what's the town of Dudley getting? What are we getting for fees?
Mhm.
And we're gonna get $3,000 in fees if somebody does a preliminary plan and a definitive plan, but we're only gonna get $1,500 for fees if they come right in with a definitive
Right.
plan. So I think we have to make it,
Okay.
we have to scale it to make it more advantageous for
Mhm.
the builders to do both.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's just my opinion. Everybody following?
Yep,
me?
makes sense to me.
All right.
So
Yeah.
what are the options, and you want to increase the fee for the definitive plan and.
For the definitive plan without a preliminary plan, I think the fee should be $4,500 plus the $750 per lot. And like I said, if that $750 per lot turns out to be too much, they get that money back from we pay the engineer out of that. Whatever's left over is going to the applicant.
Okay.
But also, that would be, the only other thing that would be coming out of that review fee, bill would be like your fee for your professional fee, like just what we charge whatever the engineer's gonna charge, we're gonna do the same thing for you like we had talked about.
Well, I ran that by the town administrator, and he wanted to hold off on that aspect of the fee change. He wanted to do some more research on what other towns have done in that respect, and get town council's opinion before we implement a fee for my services, so I think we could go ahead and advertise this
Right,
as is, and then revisit that other.
right, but what I'm saying is, if that does go through, that money will already be in an account.
Right,
So it's for professional review fees.
correct.
So whether it's you or the engineer, it's there,
Mm-hmm.
so. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions or
So
anything?
we changed this line then to 4,500 plus 750?
Yep, that was my thought.
Is there a agreement on that?
Everything else looked good to me. I just didn't know if anybody else had any comments, or,
Well, we still have a public hearing to be held, so there may be comments forthcoming as far as
Yep.
the public's feelings or whatever thoughts they may present.
When do we want to set the public hearing?
we have to advertise it for 2 weeks?
Yes. So,
End of October?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, might as well.
It could be that could be the first meeting in October, I believe.
we're meeting October 11th and the 25th.
Do we have anything on the agenda right now for the 11th? Any other public hearings?
No, nothing else has come in.
It's October 11th.
Do it on the 11th.
So I could get the advertisement in by next week. No, for advertisement on the 22nd and the 29th, so I could get it in this week. So set it for October 11th?
Would we put this fee schedule into the advertisement?
No,
We don't.
just make it available.
Okay.
I mean, I could, but it would be a long,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you understand the two that we just discussed, so the $300 will stay, and it's gonna be $300 plus the new lot, plus $100 per new lot. And then the definitive plan without preliminary plan, we're gonna change the $1,500 fee to $4,500 plus $750 per lot review fee. And that's the only two changes. I can, when I get home, I can mark that up and email it back to you, Bill, so you'll have it.
Okay. So we would put, that revised fee schedule online so people could have
Right,
access
and
to it.
that'll be, well, we're gonna call it the it already says there, new proposed Dudley fee schedules for 2023, so that'll be
Okay.
good. I'll just edit that and send it back to you.
Okay.
All right. Takes care of that. Under standard business, we have discussion, status report on finishing construction of and acceptance of uncompleted, unaccepted subdivision streets, including Pierpont Estates, Raffy Hill Estates, Country View Estates, Tobin Farm Estates, and Lyon Estates. Do we
I don't have
anything?
any new information.
I can tell you I did place a phone call to Mr. Heaney, but I got no reply. I left him a message, no reply, so I don't know if he's.
Well, I'm glad you did, because now's the time to be thinking about it for the annual town meeting.
Right.
Did you mention that to him, that?
Yeah, I said we would just like to know what your thoughts are and how we could best move forward with your subdivision.
And I'm afraid we're gonna end up in the same boat with all these other old subdivisions where the developer walks away and the
Well,
road deteriorates and
the
then we
only-
have to
the
do a
only good
betterment
thing with this-
program and.
The only good thing with this one is there is some money left in the escrow account, so I think we could finish up what we had to if we.
Well, it depends how long, there's not much left. A lot of it went towards the
The
sewer
sewer.
pump station.
But I think what do we need? We need an acceptance plan?
Well, we need to do a completeness review of the road. It's been, what, 10 years or since it's been finished, so there might need to be repairs made.
There was repairs made recently, like within the last
Okay.
two,
I mean, I'm
two-
just
2 years.
speculating.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years, there was repairs made, so.
Okay.
Well, we have the betterment process with regards to Tobin Farm, so that hopefully
Yes.
will be moving forward, and we can take that off the list at some point now.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm afraid of. We'd end up with another betterment program for
Yeah.
this development.
So I think if we
they
can, if we can get it done with the money that's in the account.
Right.
Get it done now versus, I mean, like, if we don't hear anything from them by the end of this year, then I think by, in the spring, we just talk to town council and do what we gotta do to finish it.
I don't know whether we can do that without the
I think he
developer
can. He has to
bringing it
abandon
forward.
He has to abandon it.
I imagine he has to apply, so I don't know whether the planning board itself could initiate that process.
I thought in the covenant it said that if the applicant didn't fulfill his obligation, that the planning board could use the escrow monies to finish the
Do
subdivision.
you know if the covenant has been released? All the lots have been released by now,
Yeah.
so the covenant may no longer be valid.
What about the people on that road, can they do the betterment process? Even though
Still
that guy still
privately
owns it?
owned.
I-
Still privately owned.
Yeah, but so is Tobin Farms.
So we're thinking about what happens if the developer, walks away. Then the betterment would be the way to go, but if he's still an owner,
He's walked away.
Well, what is the difference between not responding and walking away? I mean, is it not responding,
Well,
effectively walking away?
I think we
Who's
can-
plowing that and maintaining
That's the thing, he
that?
plowed it last year, but we only, I think we only needed one plowed, we
Yes,
only had one plowable
They should
storm
have
last
sent him
year.
a bill really quick, and then he defaults
I
within
think
30
he-
days, you go to court.
I
And
think
then
he
you can
took
explain
care-
it to a judge.
I think he took care of it last year, but I
yeah,
don't
I
know.
think he's still,
I don't know if he'll do
doing
it
that.
this year, we'll have to wait and see. If he takes care of it this year, then he's still maintaining it.
Right?
Yeah, I guess we just wait and see,
If he's maintaining it, he's still.
owning it.
Which subdivision are you talking about?
Eisenhower Drive.
So I'm glad you reached out to him,
Yeah,
that's all we can do at this point.
but no reply. I'll try, if I have time this week, I'll try giving him another call.
Okay.
If I may, though, this reaching out is, we're talking about years, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of misreading the calendar. I mean, I know that you had a number of attempts, and you've taken it on now, and you've had a number of attempts at this point and over a period of time. It's just, I don't know, it's
Well,
responsiveness on the other side of the phone calls or the letters that are being sent is just not there.
Mhm.
I mean, the phone message that was on the, on the answering machine was, I'm gonna be out of the office in March and April, so if you need me, call me on my cell phone. And I'm thinking, yeah, it's September.
It usually comes up,
Yeah.
after the winter, so.
So, yeah, I don't know if he's here or not, but I left a message and I haven't gotten any reply, so I'll give another call and see what happens.
Okay.
I mean, it can't hurt. All right, inspections associated with site plans, we got Legacy Landing, Country Club Acres, we got SEP Solar, Oxford Avenue, JD&D, 24 Oxford Avenue, and Stevens Mill. Anything on those?
No, don't have anything.
How about Planner's Plate? Anything on Planner's Plate?
Just wanted to mention that the Water and Sewer Commission put in a sewer connection moratorium for an area served by the Potash Brook.
I heard about that.
Interceptor?
Yeah, on Monday's night meetings, they talked about it.
So that could affect some projects that might come in to the planning board, so we should be aware of it. And also, potential applicants should know that they may not be able to get a sewer connection until that problem is resolved.
How far west does that go?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Cause you just said west, that's why I brought it up the other night.
Yeah, I mean, I've asked to see a map so I can give you a better answer, but I believe it's anything upstream, which would include Mason Road and that part of town, and then sort of the western side of West Main Street as well.
Mason
So it
Road-
could be a
Mason Road
significant
to-
area.
To the Connecticut line, basically.
I think it perhaps goes to about Marty's, so anything up
Okay, nice.
above Marty's would be affected. But don't take me as gospel on that, I'm not positive.
Okay. Comments from the planning board?
If I may, Mr. Chairman, I again would like to thank you for having put before us this proposed change in terms of fees. Obviously, the situation in terms of town finances, anything we can do to supplement those is probably a good idea.
Well, seeing that they hadn't been updated since 2005, it was probably time.
Richard, do you have any reports on CMRPC?
Only that I will likely miss the meetings part. I apologize for that.
Have you ever talked to the selectmen's delegate?
I did speak, or have spoken to him on a couple of occasions, but to be quite honest, there hasn't been a whole lot of interaction. It took
I was
a long time to
thinking of
identify who he was.
inviting him to a meeting, so,
I've never seen him at a selectmen's meeting,
yeah.
that I can recall.
I mean, he's not your delegate, but he is the town's delegate, and
Right.
as are you.
Yeah.
So it might be good to get his perspective on what CMRPC is doing and if there are other ways we can use their services.
Certainly something to be done, to be pursued, yeah.
Would the board like me to invite him to the next meeting for a chat?
If you,
Yeah.
Is that the Trifoni guy?
Is that?
Is it Trifoni?
Yes.
That's the one?
Yes.
he wants to go?
I believe he's on the executive committee,
Yes, he is.
so, you know, he's a board member of the
Yeah.
agency.
No, he's, as I recall, at least the in-person meetings we've had, I think he's been, I believe, in attendance of each and every one of those.
So do we get an hour for him attending the meetings
No.
and an hour for Bill? Excuse me. for
Yes, any delegate would count.
You're double dipping, really?
Well,
I thought we
there's
got
two of
one.
you each count equally.
Well,
Okay.
I thought in terms of his status as far as executive committee, that was kind of another situation entirely.
No.
As far as the
You
account.
should get an hour and a half for his time.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
then, right, that's a good point. We should put that forward, right?
I can check, but I'm pretty sure he would count equally.
William Trifoni? You trying to
What's that?
You said you're trying to remember his name?
Yeah,
I think it's William Trifoni.
that's it.
Is it
Trifoni.
William?
Mr. Trifoni, yeah.
Was he the gentleman that used to work for the school? Like the CFO for the school committee or the school department?
Is
I
that-
have never met him. but
I think he did the finances for the school. Yeah, something like that.
He was just reappointed by the selectmen as Richard was by the planning board, so
Yeah.
Okay.
he's active and
Okay.
That's why I know his name. I saw it on the meeting.
Yep. Okay, anything else from the planning board? Comments from the audience?
Just a note about your fee schedule changes. And I happen to notice that when you download the subdivision regs for the town of Dudley off the website, it references the fees, it says in accordance with the fee schedule, and then in parentheses, it says see forms. But when you go down to the end of the document, where it has all the forms listed, there's no fee schedule. Bill provided me a fee schedule with my application, but if you wanna find it online, I couldn't find it.
It's in, I found it, it's right in the beginning of, the planning board.
Yeah, I think it's the forms page,
Documents,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, so it's not in the appendix with the other forms?
No, it's right at the beginning of the planning board documents. I think it says planning board documents. It's the one of the first pages that comes up in the planning board documents.
Oh, you're talking about online?
Online.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. You might wanna put it in the appendix of the subdivision regs,
okay.
because it's referenced in there, as being C forms. I'm assuming you meant to see the form in the appendix.
Under other business, our next meeting is scheduled for September 27th. Do we have any approvals or consultant vouchers or payments that need to be
No.
paid? No. Any other town notices or correspondence? Bill?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we adjourn.
Motion?
Second.
A motion and second, all in favor? Aye, unanimous. Thank you, everybody.